Welcome to Tackett's House of Horsepower. It's me, Steve Tackett, and I'm with my beautiful wife, Sarah.
Hi. Today we're switching things up.
We're gonna get a little sidetracked today. We're gonna do a little project on a car that you probably see in the background a lot. There is some early videos on it, but it's our favorite little station wagon, Okie. So if you're new to our channel, this is the little station wagon we like to call Okie. Why do we call it Okie? Because we had to go all the way to Oklahoma to get it. It is a 1965 Chevy Nova station wagon. It is a factory 283 V8 car. It has factory air conditioning. You can see it down there. It has factory tinted glass, factory roof rack, factory electric rear window, and yes, it still works. We got this car and it was been sitting a long time. The front clip was off of it. The engine and tranny was missing, and the interior, the mice had a field day with it and basically ate it. The seats were mouse hotels. So we had the seats redone, the carpet redone, the headliner redone. I got all the electrical, all the wiring replaced. Got everything working and functioning properly. Even the original rocker switch for the rear window works even. Factory radio even works. I tracked down a 283 that's out of a Nova. It has the recessed oil filter 283. It's not numbers matching, but oh well. That one's actually out of a 66. I went down to Tucson and bought that, rebuilt it, dropped it in the car. There's actual videos on that. If you scroll back on the page, you'll see them. But the car itself, we didn't really do much for a video on it because we got it before we had a YouTube channel. So anyway, so I love this car. It's basically a daily driver for me. I drive it to and from work all the time. But there is one thing that bothers me about it. If you look at the car, to me, it looks like the front is a little too high. I would like it if the front end was a little bit lowered. And I thought about it, and I was just gonna cut the springs or, do something like that. And I thought, no, that's not the right way to lower something. If you look, to me, it just looks a little bit high in the front. So, what's the correct thing to do? Well, we could cut the springs, but then you're risking the fact that what if you go too low? You can't put it back. You gotta replace the springs. I don't want to cut the springs. Cutting the springs can lead to other problems like poor ride quality. You lose a little bit of spring rate. I mean, you'll achieve what you want to achieve. It'll look the way you want it to look, but it's not going to ride as nice. And being that I put a lot of miles on this car, it's basically a daily driver. I don't want it to ride like trash. I want it to be right. So I want to achieve the look I want to achieve, but I want to maintain the ride. So the best way to do that and the right way to do that would be with a set of adjustable coilovers. Now, before we get started, I'm gonna take a before measurement real quick, just so I know where I'm at when I started. And we are about 13 and a quarter from the center of the bumper to the ground. I'm looking at about 13 and a quarter. So in my mind, I would like to be at least an inch, maybe 2 inches lower. So write that number down. Don't forget it, 13 and a quarter. I know, it's exciting, super exciting.
There you go, Scout.
What's in the box? What is it? Well, I think by now you guys know that I like to support American companies. American made is always the way to go. And for Oakley, we decided to go with Aldan American. They make really top quality stuff. So we're gonna give it a try. All right, so here's everything unboxed. Everything for the front, adjustable coilovers and mounts and everything you need. Everything for the rear, just doing shocks. But this is what the kit comes with. And we'll put all the part numbers in the description so you guys can look all this stuff up. So we got the car in. We're gonna jack it up, get the tires off it. We're doing it old school. We don't have a lift here. So we're doing it with a jack and jack stands. You know, that's how we do it here. So let's get started. So Okie goes down the road straight and it seems fine, but you can look at the tires and see a different story here. It's really eating up the inside edge of the tire, and the rest of this, the outside edge is like barely touched. So it's definitely wearing the tires out unevenly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new set of front tires, and then when this is all said and done, we're gonna do a front end alignment. I'll take it to my buddy Jason and have him throw it up on the rack, and he'll do a front end alignment, which is a good idea anyways. 2 new front tires ready to go. Okay, so basically the way this is going to work, this Aldan American kit, as long as you're using the stock upper A-arm, or at least the stock upper A-arm locations, mounting locations, you can bolt this kit right in. It's basically going to take the place of this mount right here, the spring and shock and upper, you know, the upper shock mount. You're going to replace that. You're going to remove all the stock stuff and mount their stuff in it, and then boom, it replaces that stock spring and shock. Sounds simple enough, right?
I'm gonna start up top. I need to get the old shocks out of the way and remove this mount.
we got the old shocks out and the old shock mount off. Next, I want to take off, there's a couple of bolts and 2 on the inside, 2 on the back side, 2 on the top, I think. And then this little cover plate that's got the bump stop on it. We can get that off and you can get more access to this spring. There seems to be a lot of tension on it still. So there's 2 things you can do. You could take the mount apart or take the ball joint apart or unbolt the top A-arm from the inner wall right on the inside where the exhaust manifold is and let the A-arm just pop off and let the spring hit you in the teeth. That's always fun. Or you can go get a spring, get this plate out of the way, and then you can drop a spring compressor down the center, get the tension off the spring, and then it'll drop right out. So we'll do it the correct way because I like my teeth where they are. So let's get started on that. If we can get this plate off and get these springs off, then I think you just got to get this mount off. And that's about it. All the old stuff is out of the way. Okay, 6 bolts and that inner plate comes out. Now the spring is fully accessible. It might just slide out of there, but again, I don't know. It feels like it's under pressure, so I don't want to attempt it. So let me get my spring compressor and do it the right way. Okay, the old spring is out. It really wasn't under much tension. As soon as it started to squeeze it just a little bit, it fell right out. So that's good. And I didn't lose any teeth, so I'm happy about that. Okay, we got both sides out. The springs are out. I just got to get this perch out, the original perch, and it's just a couple bolts. We'll get that off of both sides, get it out of the way. All right, all the old stuff is out. And I'll probably hang on to most of this and reuse it. If you watched any of my other videos, you would know that I'm working on a couple of other first-gen Novas. So none of that stuff's probably gonna go to waste. Anyways, we have everything out of the way. So let's start assembling the new stuff. Okay, so basically I use this and I did 1 bolt at a time. So I'm always attached by 3 points. So the 4th one I use as my guide and I drill out a 3/8 hole. So there you go. Now this side, obviously it doesn't take much out of it because there's nothing behind it. This side, you do have to go all the way through because there's like a tab sticking out. So those 2 you got to drill through. These ones you basically just clean it up. Now, when you go to set this upper bracket on, you'll see that it's not going to sit flush. So you have to grind this lip down. So set this over your holes, line it up as best you can, and then mark that. And then we're going to take a grinder to it until we get that down low enough that this thing can sit flush. Okay, so I got the lip ground down, so now I can sit flat here. Now, what you got to do is, on these inboard side, you have a little tang that used to hold the bolt. You know, the head of the bolt used to snap in right here. You got a gap between these 2 pieces of metal, and so you want to take a couple washers and stick them in here. So when you tighten it up, it'll have something to tight again. You know, this won't flex. It'll tighten down flat. So only the inboard ones have it though. So you only need to put these washers in here, like that. Now, when you put all this together and tighten it down, it'll go something like that. All right, so now we have something that looks like this. All the bolts dropped into the holes. Everything's sitting flush. It looks good, I'm happy. Now, up under here, it's another story. Okay, so it's not very flat, you'll notice. So what we gotta do is, you got these little crescents and this ring. One of the crescents goes on first. It's gonna go to the outboard side, and it gives it something for this to sit against. So then, it'll sandwich there and there. So it'll kind of sit like that, but upside down and in there, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of dark so you can't really see it, but there it is. It kind of looks like this. So this goes on first, sitting up there, then this, then both of these. So it kind of makes a stack up, and it sits flush in the pocket, but up there. And everything is bolted together. So I think the upper mount is good. Everything is sitting flush. I like it. All right, next, I'm gonna put the lower bracket on. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. A couple bolts, couple washers, nuts, and it's gonna go in the original bolt holes on the top side of the upper control arm. So that's pretty simple, just like that. All right, now comes the exciting part. We're gonna install the shock. This is one of their double adjustable shocks, and it is, you got 6 positions down here, compression. You got 11 positions up here for rebound. So I'm gonna go with what they're recommending for a Nova, being it's a light car like this. I'm gonna set it at 1 down here and 3 up here, and go ahead and put it in and see how I like it, and adjust it from there. All right, look at that. It's in. Everything is in and just kind of snugged right now. So now that I'm happy with it, I can come in and torque everything. So the main mount bolts are 75 foot-pounds, the top and the bottom. And then all the 3/8 hardware is 35 foot-pounds. So we can go ahead and torque everything now for final assembly, I guess you could say. And repeat everything we just did on the other side. $75. All right, both sides are in. Same as before, you have to drill your 4 holes. Use a guide, make your 4 holes. You gotta do a little bit of grinding. You gotta grind this lip off so that sits down flat. And then everything else, other than a little bit of drilling and a little bit of grinding, it bolts right in. Now, it does say, the instructions say, it wants to start off with about 1 inch of preload on the spring. So there's an Allen bolt right here. You crack this bolt loose, and then you can spin this collar, and you can go up or down with it. And that's how you adjust your ride height. So you want to set it down on the ground, get some weight on it, do a little bounce test, see what you think, maybe drive around the block, and then crack this loose and spin it, you know, up or down as needed. And then there you go. that's just about it for the front, I think. We can put our bump stop cover on once we're done, you know, getting the ride height set where we want it, and then lock that down. Lock it down when you're done. Spin this, loosen it, spin it, tighten that bolt back up when you're done. All right, it's sitting on the ground for the first time. How's it look?
Low.
You think so?
Really low.
Oh, it doesn't look that low.
That's how you like it. Don't lie.
Let's see. Now, we haven't driven it yet, so it hasn't settled or nothing. Let's see. Any guesses? What do you think we're at? About 11.
Ooh.
That's over 2 inches. Yeah, that's a little bit low. We might have to raise it back up a little bit. Come on. It's not hitting bump stop. So it's good, right?
Sure. Good thing they're adjustable.
Okay, the other part of this little project today is we're gonna replace these rear shocks. So let me jack it up, let me get these old ones off, we'll start putting the new ones in, and then we'll take it on a quick test drive. Well, Houston, we have a problem. I cannot get that bracket they give you to clear my exhaust. Hold on, I'll show you. I'm trying to do this one-handed. So where that eyelet sits is right where the exhaust is turning. Can you see it? I can't get this over. It's right where the exhaust is. I'm sure none of this is coming out in the video, but I just wanted to try to show you that my exhaust is going to be a problem on this car. But that's okay. I'll tell you why in a minute. Let me get out of here. Okay, so these shocks are pretty awesome. Double adjustable, all that. They're probably way overkill for little Okie wagon here. I do have another Nova station wagon that I do race, and I should probably put these on the rear of that. And that has exhaust that dumps in front of the axle, so it's not going to be in the way. So I think I'll use these on the other wagon. So I guess I'm going to put my old ones back on, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. We'll get it fixed. Okay, check it out. I've only driven it around the block. It seems fine. The tires didn't rub or anything. It felt pretty good, actually. It still goes down the road straight and everything just like it did before, but you saw the tires I showed you. So they were wearing unevenly. So anytime you do any major surgery to the front suspension or you see any uneven tire wear like that, it's probably a good idea to get a front end alignment. So I'm going to take it to my buddy Jason's shop this week. And look at that stance. That is perfect. I like it. So anyways, what I was saying is I'll take it to my buddy's shop. We'll throw it on the rack. We'll do a front end alignment on it. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited. Big improvement. Big improvement. What do you guys think? I'm just gonna film that for a minute. It's about 2 inches, a little bit more than 2 inches lower than it was. Not bad. You believe me, that's the original paint. 1965 paint right there.
Well, that's going to do it for today. We were able to get what we wanted to get completed on Okie.
Yes, it was actually a pretty decent installation. It took a few hours, but that's all right. Hand tools and floor jack and jack stands, and you can get it done in a day. It's not that big a deal. So I would highly recommend Aldan American. If you've never heard of them, check out their website. They have everything. They work on S10s to Novas to Camaros to Corvettes to you name it, they got it. Ford stuff if you're into that. If you're into that sort of thing. But we'll put their website on here. She'll put the website right here somewhere.
There you go.
Right there. Put it right there. That's their website. Go check them out. If you haven't never heard of them, check them out. Good quality American stuff. And they got all kinds of suspension stuff on there. So check them out. Big thank you to them. Okie's gonna ride nice and low. I like it.
All the way to duct tape drags.
All the way to duct tape drags. It's coming up in September. That thing's gonna sit out there in the car show area. It's not gonna be in the race area. It's gonna be in the car show area, not the drifting area either. We'll put Okie in the car show area, and you can check it out there. And I think we're gonna bring this little Nova, and possibly Down and Dirty, and the green Chevelle.
Maybe only 3.
4 cars. We could bring 4.
We're still in negotiations. We
could
have
bring
3.
4.
We only have 3 drivers.
What? Would one of you like to come drive one? You could come drive one.
Yes. How about you guys? Comment below. Let us know. Should we have 3 or 4? Realistically 3, or a little logistically not the easiest.
Go big or go
4.
home.
So.
That's what I say. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with us. Please hit like, hit subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell. I don't know. Do some of those things.
All the things.
Do the things. It would really help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.